Get the comfy chair!
Welcome to this episode of The Good, The Bad and The Odd with your host Mark and Sam. Hi Sam.
Hello there.
So this is Comfy Chair. We're running a little late on our Comfy Chairs. We usually do it a bit closer to the beginning of the month, and we're doing this on the 14th of April to pull the curtain back. But we're going to be doing March and kind of early April. It doesn't really matter that much, frankly. We're not that worried, but it's usually out a little earlier than this. I think it's because we slotted an extra film in, and it put us like a week out. And you know, there's been like Easter and stuff, so you know. Okay, so Comfy Chair, we talk about stuff we've watched, read, played, whatever, all right, in the last month or so. So shall I start this? Is that all right?
Yeah, you get started, I'll go second. Well, go on this.
Okay. Yeah, we're ping pong. Right, so my first one is Clear Bad. And a bit odd, but mostly bad. Now, I've spent about the last 5 or 6 weeks watching almost every horror film from 2022. I've still got, I think, 12 or 13 more to watch. But I have watched a lot. I think we're in the 40s. I'm in the 40s. I didn't realise there was so many horror films made in 2022, but there were. And it's a bit weird because the standard is pretty high. Usually you expect like a third or a quarter to be pretty poor. Hasn't been the case. You know, most of them are a few of them are fairly low scoring, but most of them are 6, 7s, 8s, 9s. And in fact, I will be talking about one of the best ones I watched a bit later on, but I want to talk about one of the worst ones I watched because it's just so odd, right? And this one was called Something in the Dirt, right? And essentially, it's kind of two hipster dudes who kind of have just moved in together in their housemates. That's the relationship. But something odd starts happening around the house. Like they find this rock thing in the ground or something, and it starts to cause things to float. And they're trying to work out what to do about it. Basically, how to make money out of it almost. And it's pretty bad. Now, I read some reviews or online postings, I should say, not reviews, on this, and the consensus was, wow, these guys usually make good stuff. I don't quite know what happened here. So these are a pair of and I couldn't tell you their names. You'd have to look up Something in the Dirt. I couldn't tell you their names, but I couldn't tell if it was supposed to be funny, or not. You know, it's, and it just got a bit odder and odder what was going on, and it wasn't. It wasn't odd enough. It wasn't funny enough. It wasn't scary enough. It wasn't weird enough. Do you know what I mean? It was just weak all round. This is what I put on Letterboxd when I reviewed it. Right? It says kind of if you remade Pi with a pair of millennial characters played for laughs. Brackets. I think. And not for me. And I could see possibly other people liking this, but I thought it was kind of boring and just a waste of time, actually. Yeah, so not great. Have you seen Pi? Do you know what I'm referring to?
No, I have no idea.
Pi's a great film. It's Aronofsky made it. One of his, I think it might be his first film, where a guy has worked out some formula that people are after. It's all in black and white. It's a really kind of Lynchian film. It's a good film, really good film. But this is like the worst a poor version. I honestly can't tell you even now, is it supposed to be a comedy? Because it really wasn't funny. It's got that kind of flippant dialogue. It's almost like, imagine if Buffy was written and the jokes weren't funny at all for the entire series. That's how it feels. Whereas Buffy is fun, right? But it just feels like their flippancy, their turn of phrase is supposed to be funny, but it isn't. So, yeah, Something in the Dirt, avoid, I think. Anyway, over to you.
Yeah, so my first, my bad thing is, so in previous ones, previous Comfy Chairs, I've covered the Twilight series as I've been going through it.
Yes.
And me and my friends finished it off with the last 2 films, Twilight Breaking Dawns Part 1 and 2. Now, these are bad films. Like, the others you can find fun. The first one of these movies is basically a protracted anti-abortion message, which is gross.
Okay.
So yeah, basically it's the wedding of what's her name? Bella Swan and Edward Cullen. They finally go off to their honeymoon after a lot of like moping from the werewolf boy, and they have sex and break the bed, and she figures out she's pregnant like 2 days later.
Yeah.
So because of course. She can, in the completely no difference to her stomach, she feels a bump. So,
right. Yeah. Okay.
And they like this movie hits all the like terrible movie tropes. Like there's some, I think, because they're in Brazil, like some local non-white person walks up, puts their hand on her stomach, and goes like "demon," and like runs off. It's like
nice.
So they get.
I think you're making it sound better than it is.
Yeah,
I can't be honest.
There's several shots that. Okay, some of my friends have seen The Lighthouse. There's multiple shots of Edward stood out in the water, and they kept making jokes about it.
Right.
Like waist deep, and it's shot. They showed me a shot from The Lighthouse, and it looks very similar. So they get Bella back home in about like 2 weeks or something. She goes from like nothing to full pregnancy, and they're like flat out, "This is gonna kill her. This will kill her." There's nothing about it. The baby. She looks like freaking Palpatine at the end of Revenge of the Sith. Like she's all like sunken in and like drawn back. She looks ghoulish and pregnant. Yeah. And the baby is also super strong. So when it kicks, it's like shattering her ribs.
Oh my god, this sounds horrible!
And she's still like, "This is my little baby. I'm gonna like," and she gives it the worst name. Like they're like, "Oh, if it's a boy, I want to call it Edward Jacob." It's like, ugh.
Okay.
That's the baby's dad and the baby's dad's rival.
What a weird thing to do.
Yeah. And then if it's a girl, I want to call it Renesmee. It's like.
What does that mean?
Apparently, it's like Bella's mother and Edward's mother, but it's like they just combine the names. So yeah, she has the baby in the most weird C-section ever, where she starts out giving birth. They're like, "Okay, we need to give you a C-section." One of the vampires who's like trying to help gives her the slightest cut, lifts up the scalpel she was looking at the blood, and just sort of does like a sort of, and then she has to get tackled and run out of the room.
Oh my
god! Okay, we're doing this, and then Edward Cullen has to eat his baby out of his wife.
Wow. Okay.
And they don't even try. He's like, "Okay, I'm going in," and sort of dives out of view. You hear a lot of munching and like
right.
It's just like shots of Bella going, and like he pops back up with this baby that looks like it's covered in salsa.
Oh my goodness!
Of course, and then they're like, "Oh, the dramatic. We have to turn her into a vampire to save her," which almost seems like it doesn't work. What? And the big dramatic conclusion is not only her turning into a vampire. The werewolves in this setting have a thing called imprinting, which is basically they become like genetic. They
have a master or something.
They become like completely. It's like a soulmate sort of thing.
Yeah.
As one of the other vampires is holding this baby, the werewolf Jacob decides he's like, "I'm going to get revenge for Bella because it has killed her." Goes up, looks the baby in the eyes, and immediately imprints on the baby.
So many questions.
Yes.
So many questions.
So it's so strange and so bizarre. The second part of this is basically, what's his name? Michael Sheen? Yeah, Michael Sheen.
I like Michael Sheen. Yeah, go on.
Basically hamming it up for the camera.
That sounds
in
better.
its entirety.
And
we start to get introduced to actual cool vampires, as well as like the characters' cool backstories. Because I've said this in the past, the worst thing about Twilight is that it's set in its current setting. All the characters were way cooler before Twilight, and all the other characters that are very incidental to the story are far more interesting. So
it's such a weird thing. I think Michael Sheen also played a vampire in, like a camping out vampire in the Underworld series, funny enough, which would have probably been made about the same time.
Yeah.
How odd.
That's a weird.
I don't know if I've got any questions. It just sounds. I think you're making it sound better than it was. I've got to be honest.
It's really not, because there's so much debate about, like, well, it's killing her, so we got to stop it. But it's my baby. This is like almost a 2-hour movie.
And that's part one.
That's part one. The second part is basically just, the baby's now around. It's growing up faster than expected.
Yeah.
So they...
Sounds like some
the baby gets seen, and they think because the baby has powers, they've done what's considered a sin in vampire. Like, again, there's a lot of cool vampire stuff in Twilight. None of it really to do with the Cullens.
Right.
So one of the vampire laws is that you can't make a baby vampire. Like, you can't turn a baby into a vampire because they're just feral. And their minds haven't developed enough to not just be hungry all the time, and they just start killing people in huge quantities. So this is kind of a problem when a lot of the vampires, pointedly, a lot of the female vampires crave children. Some get around this by like adopting younger vampires or like younger looking vampires. Yeah. Some turn babies. Turning a baby gets you killed. By the vampire.
Yeah. It sounds a bit like the Anne Rice. The Anne Rice universe has these connections.
They see this superpowered baby and they're like, "Well, you've broken the law. We're just gonna get the vampire army in to kill this kid, and then all of you." So they phrase it as like, "Oh, we're gonna get witnesses to show that this is not a cursed child,"
right?
Which is their terminology for it, and it's just a big fight at the end. It's just ends up into a big scrap with Michael.
Okay. Sounds weird.
Yeah.
And
I don't want to spoil the last twist.
Yeah.
It like, even though I've just described this bad, this makes it all so much worse.
Oh, all right. Okay. Funny enough, there was and I'm gonna avoid spoilers as much as possible, but in the last season of What We Do in the Shadows, there's a child that's aging faster than usual that's tied up with it, which is a weird coincidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Think of it. They also bring this sort of thing up in the I think it's the first season of What We Do in the Shadows, because Laszlo's like, "Oh yeah, someone turned a baby. It was me. I thought it was funny." So
yeah. Oh yeah, he didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I've got to mention the horrifying CGI baby that they have, which they had to put in to cover up the even more horrifying animatronic baby.
Oh, that an animatronic baby.
Yeah, it's the stuff of nightmares. Look up the Twilight animatronic baby.
Okay.
Like, the train spotting has nothing on this monster.
Hold on, I'm going to do this while we're talking. Twilight animatronic. I'm just going to imagine it's some sort of weird paper mash. Yeah, okay. What?
Yeah.
It looks like someone took Emma Stone, right, and put a massive forehead on her and then de-aged her. That's how it looks. Yeah, anyway, right, weird. Okay. Back to me then, right? So we've done with the bad, right? It's all
we're
good,
done with the
I
bad.
think.
Now
it's
it's
all good.
good.
Okay, all right. Okay. So I've been watching several, and I'm going to talk about them as a group. Several kind of actiony films, and a lot of action films made now really are not big nods to the 80s, aren't they? That's just the way it is, because everyone knows that the best action films from the 80s, right? So action films that come out now are kind of very, very, very 80s. The first I'm going to mention is Bullet Train, which you've already talked about, so I won't mention it much. Really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. And I particularly liked, I thought Aaron Taylor Johnson?
Aaron Taylor Johnson
was particularly good in it, but I think the whole cast was good. The whole, what's his name? Mandarin and Lemon. Is that right?
Yeah. Tangerine.
Tangerine and Lemon, that's it. It was really fun. Watched another actually film that was on Prime, so it's free to watch if you've got Prime, called Operation Fortune with Jason Statham, Aubrey Plaza from Parks and Rec, and Hugh Grant and Josh Hartnett too. Really fun. It's a caper. It's kind of a comedy version of Mission Impossible. That's probably the best way to put it. It's kind of funny because Jason Statham. I kept laughing because he kept reminding me a bit of the weird mental spy he plays in the film Spy, which is an amazing performance. If you ever get a chance to watch Spy, and a lot of people think it's Melissa McCarthy. It's a fun film, but man, Jason Statham in it is mental. It's really fun. So I saw that. That was fun. Big recommend. And I also watched all 4 parts of John Wick.
Okay.
I'm prepared to go see.
One of my things is John Wick, so yeah, we can talk about this.
Okay.
It's the first one, though.
Okay. Let's. Should we do the first one then?
Back and forth, yeah.
Okay. The first one. First one's the best one, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah.
Although I think the other 3 aren't too far behind. I just think the whole world building in the first one is a lot of fun. It feels like a comic book, and it's because it's coherent. It's all very coherent.
Everything kind of lines up very well. The assassin economy in it is very well vetted. It's like, okay, the police kind of in on it. Yeah. There's like a body cover-up sort of people. Yeah, the whole
Continental, the place of sanctuary reminded me of Highlander somewhat, and churches.
Yeah.
The clean-up crews, the doctors, it all kind of makes sense, and it's a lot of fun.
I do love the immediate fear of everyone whenever John's about. They're like, "Hey, you working?
You working, John?" And I like that guy. He goes, "Why don't you take the night off?" And the guy just turns around and says, "Thank you, Mr. Wick." And just
it's like, what do you do at that point? It's like, I'm out. Nope.
What made me laugh is the main bad guy's son didn't really know John Wick, so he said, "I'll take care of it." It's like, oh my god! And after his dad explains to him, he's still saying, "I'll do it." He goes, "Don't you listen?"
Yeah. I think my favourite bit was when he called up John Leguizamo, all threatening. It's like, "I hear you struck my son."
Yeah.
It's like, "Yes, I did." Why? He stole John Wick's car and killed his dog.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, he wasn't bothered then. After that point, he wasn't bothered. The whole thing is a lot of fun. And John Wick, it's just, I do like the whole thing. He's a big scary dude. And do you know what it reminded me of? This is a very big aside. I read a book recently called Twilight's Last Screaming, right? Which is like a man, Sean Hogan, composed basically an alternative in the background history of America based on stringing a lot of horror films together and putting that as real history and connecting them. So for example, Twin Peaks is connected to Jason. That's a mad connection. Things like that. And cannibals, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre cannibals are connected to the guys from the film Ravenous. And there's all these mad connections. But I'll tell you, there's a massive through line. Now, given that America hasn't existed as a nation for very long, a lot of the first half of the book is set in the West, right? It's the American, so it's in vampires and this, that, and the other. But what made me laugh was it dealt with all these supernatural beings, including vampires, demons, spirits. But to a man, or to each entity, they were all scared of Josie Wales. All of them. They all avoided Josie Wales. So JW, right? John Wick. It just made me think this feels like Josie Wales was the John Wick of the Old West. It just made me laugh. That was kind of thing. But John Wick is kind of cool. So you saw it. I've seen it 3 or 4 times now. So what do you think of it?
Yeah, I really like this show. This is I'm surprised I didn't watch it sooner.
Yeah.
So, it is kind of funny because this entire time I've thought this is his dog for a long time. No, he had that dog for about a day.
Yeah. Yes. It was very, very quick.
Like got it and gone. Okay.
One of the things I like about the John Wick films is they take 20-25 minutes of a bit of setup. And you think, wow, where's the action start? But when the action starts, it really doesn't stop. It just goes on and on. You will like 2, I have to say. There's a bit with Peter Serafinowicz.
I've seen the bit with Peter Serafinowicz as the like sommelier for guns.
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
I
want something robust. It's like robust, flavoured. It just hands him a shotgun.
A massive shotgun. Yeah, you will enjoy that film. 2 is, I think they're all good. They're all good. And 4 is a very satisfying endpoint if they finish everything. But I think they're all good and they're interesting. I like 2 because 1 was more about him reacting, wasn't it? Though he did make plans. You know, for example, when he got to the church, when he found out about the church and went in the church and burnt it down, kind of thing. But 2, he's much more planning stuff that he's got to do. And so he's much more lethal and stuff going on. And it's kind of amazing when you get to watch it. I
love how day job the other assassins are about their work.
Yeah.
Like when they're in the hall and like the other guy, when he's fighting the lady in the, it's in the Continental, it spills out into the hallway. And like one guy sticks his head out. It's like, you okay there, John?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm okay. Go. Hey, okay, bud. They sort of move back in, and then it gives us it's like, hey man, I'll give you a coin if you look after her for the night.
And it's like catch and release. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no problem. It's kind of fun. John Wick also stays completely kind of laconic through the entire lot. He doesn't talk much. My favourite response, I think, is when he breaks into the church and he shoots the priest. And he says, open the door. And the priest says, I can't. If I do that, he'll kill me. And John Wick just looks at him and goes, uh-huh. And shoots a guy in the head behind him and then says, uh-huh. And that's it. That's the conversation.
Yeah.
There's plenty of that. It's very fun.
I think one of my favourite bits is when the villain has John Wick tied up to a chair.
Yeah,
it's like,
big mistake.
Yeah. It's like no. I have to make like a message of you. Now it's like this. You got to start with. It's like, I was kind of trying to be stopped, but then your son fucking broke into my house, stole my car, and killed my dog. There's nothing left. People keep asking if I'm back. I think I'm back, and then you can see the villain immediately is like on the back foot. It's like, oh shit. And John Wick is tied up with a plastic bag pulled over his head,
and he still gets out.
He's still scared of him.
Yeah. Quite rightly though. It's a fun franchise. I definitely encourage you to. I'd watch. I wouldn't just go see 4, even though it's in the cinemas. I'd watch 2 and 3 first. There's some fun stuff. There's like, for example, one of the assassins he meets in one of them is a fanboy of John Wick. In fact, there are a few fanboys of John Wick, and it's kind of funny. And that kind of
I've seen a clip of it. Someone asking him his like preferred method and going through all these like high sort of societies. It's like, is it with a sniper? You propose in their glass. He just like leans in and goes, with my hands. It's like, okay. So
there's something to that. Anyway, that I've talked way too more than I was intended. But I've been watching a spate of action films. I mean, another one I watched not long ago, just to throw in the conversation, because I think it's on Netflix now, is Nobody. Made by the same director, I think, as John Wick. Nobody's a fun film too. Let me tell you one scene in that to give you an example. This guy basically is out of the life, but I think he's more like a CIA guy. He's on the, he's not an assassin.
He's quote unquote good guy CIA.
He's one of those, but he's out of the thing. But his life is dog shit, and you can tell he's kind of missing it, and he's fed up. But one day he's just sitting on a bus. And these horrible thugs get on and start intimidating her and sending everyone above. They're obviously going to attack her and rape her. And they're getting everyone on the bus. And he goes to walk off. Then he turns around and he goes, hey. And they turn around and look at him. And there's 6 of them. And he's got a gun. He's got a revolver. And he's holding it. And then he just opens the clip and empties the bullets on the floor. And throws it away. And starts laying into these guys. That was a funny bit. But the whole film is worth seeing if you get a chance to see that. Nobody. Anyway, over to you.
Okay, so my next one is kind of a twofer because I've got a couple of high fantasy things. So I've got the book, which I've been listening to as an audiobook, called Dragon Slayer, and the Dungeons and Dragons movie. which really surprised me on how good it is.
I've heard it's very good. I've heard there's been a few complaints. There's too much comedy and it shouldn't be so funny. It's like, you joking?
These people have never played Dungeons and Dragons because it's like 90% just having fun with your friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so this one is Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez as Edgin Darvis and Holger Kilgore, Bard and Barbarian, respectively. They also get joined by Justice Smith and Sophia Lillis as Simon, the sorcerer, and Doric, the druid. I'm only just recognizing the alliteration here. So the premise is that Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez, their characters have basically spent 2 years in prison. They finally break out, and they go to find that one of their old basically scam criminal buddies has become the Lord of Neverwinter. This takes place in the on the Sword Coast, so Baldur's Gate gets brought up quite a lot.
Nice.
So he's become the Lord of Neverwinter and has sort of formally adopted Chris Pine's daughter.
Right, so it is proper Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, it's high
universe.
fantasy.
Yeah.
And this is all a big heist to get back at this guy that's become the Lord of Neverwinter.
Okay.
So this is really, really fun. We get some.
I'm going to see this when it's available. But
we get a lot of good shows of like classic D&D monsters. So we see like owlbears, displacer beasts, rust monsters. Where do you see a rust monster?
Do you see them? What are they called? Those dog things.
Dog things.
Well, they got dog. They're like humans with dogs' heads.
Oh, gnolls.
Gnolls. That's it.
I didn't notice one, but it was probably in there. There was not a gnoll, but it's a thing called a tabaxi. It's the same thing, but a cat. So
yeah, all it needed really was Minsk and Boo the hamster, right?
And they could appear because it's in the Sword Coast.
Yeah.
So yeah, they did do a funny cameo bit with you probably never seen this, but the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon.
Yeah,
they had like some people that appeared as the party from that.
Yeah, I know really Dungeons.
Liked.
I used to watch it. Yeah, I know it. Yeah, that was a fun animated show.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's really good. And the other thing, Dragon Slayer, just to like roll this up, it's the still ongoing adventures of Gotrek and Felix, which I have mentioned a couple of times.
You
before.
have mentioned that,
yeah. A dwarf slayer, ritually bound to die fighting the biggest, nastiest thing, and his human pet / story keeper. He's gonna record his mighty doom. So yeah, this one is continuing on from where they were in the last one, which is escaping from from hell, basically, with a lot of treasure, heading back to the Dwarven kingdoms, and they get attacked by a dragon in their mighty airship. Now they're able to drive it off, but they are done pissed off. So they're all the dwarves are basically like, yeah, let's go kill that thing. And Felix, whose magic sword suddenly activates when the dragon gets near, is also like, let's go kill this thing. And so it's just been a big ass. So far, I'm not all the way through it, but so far it's just a big ass trek up the mountain to kill the dragon and the various shenanigans that happen along the way. So
who's the author? Because there's several
there's
books.
Quite a few of these. Let me just see if I can find the author.
Yeah, because there's several books called Dragon Slayer, so we want to, if people are interested, we want to know what to tell them.
Yeah, just tell you.
What's the name of the characters again?
Gotrek and Felix.
Is that
Gotrek and Felix? So, Dragon Slayer book.
William King.
William King. That's the one.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
But they're all on Audible. So if you want to,
nice.
And I know at some point it switches from being just like a regular narration to like a full audio drama thing. And
cool.
Gotrek switches to being voiced by Brian Blessed.
You're joking.
Nope, and to the point where when they re-announced there's a big event that basically ended Warhammer Fantasy and started Age of Sigmar, which is their new tabletop game.
Yeah.
Gotrek got announced as having somehow survived that. And the announcement for the model had Brian Blessed screaming, "Gotrek's alive!"
Gotrek's nice. Yeah.
it's a good one.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay. I've just realised one of my things I might have talked about last time. No, I didn't. I just had a look. Okay. My next one is I mentioned I've watched many horror films from 2022, and before I even started watching them, I'd already watched a few, and I was convinced that I wasn't going to find any that were better than Prey. I really like Prey, and I don't mean objectively good. I mean my favourite, right? Prey. I really like Prey. I thought that was a really good film, but I did find one horror film that was amazingly good, and it wasn't on my radar in any way. It was just one of those ones I happened to stumble across. To set it up, it's actually the second in a set. The first film, which was also came out in 2022, is called X, and that film's by Ty West, and it's kind of a tribute to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but essentially set in the 70s, and there's people there who want to make a porno film in Texas, and they rent this like outhouse from this elderly couple, and violence ensues, right? That's X. But Pearl is like a prequel to X, where the old lady in X is the main character in Pearl, right? Okay. Played by the same actress, as she's in old lady makeup in X. But Pearl is the film I want to talk about. This is an amazing both horror film and film generally. It's the best way I can describe it is, imagine if Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz was just fed up with her life and, being in Kansas and among the cornfields and all this, but it turns out she was actually a psychopath. All right? That is essentially the premise of Pearl, kinda. It's got it's very colourful. It's got that 50s melodrama feel to it. It's set in, I think 1917, 1918. Her husband, she married young. Her husband's gone off to war, left her at home with her parents, and she really doesn't get on with her mother. And dreams about being a showgirl. She loves going to the movies, and she's kind of she's got this fantasy life, and there's some weird fantasy moments in it too. But ultimately, she's a psychopath who has basically a pet alligator at the bottom of the garden.
Okay.
And when she gets triggered, no one's safe. But one of the things about it is the performance of the main actress, who's called Mia Goth, is, in my opinion, Oscar-worthy. It's absolutely fantastic. Really great performance. She gives a monologue at the end for about 10 minutes, and I'm pretty sure it's one take, which is amazing. Just a terrific film, and a terrific horror film. Really liked it. That's it. That's what I want to say about that.
Okay, so ahead with my next one?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've been replaying some old games. The one I'm going to talk about is Bioshock 2. Now, it's kind of the sort of odd one out of the Bioshock franchise, which has been monumental in all of its other installments. This one was just it was considered just okay at the time. I actually like it as one of my favourite. The other two are grand sort of ventures in storytelling, and it's a lot of you're being played by the game as much as the game is playing you in the others. This one is just a good, simple, straightforward thing. So it's set in the city of Rapture, which is a city on the bottom of the sea. And they have this substance called Adam, which they harvest from deep sea slugs, which allows them to rewrite people's genetic makeups to basically give people superpowers. Now, the whole city was built on this very libertarian philosophy of a man owns the sweat on his brow. It doesn't belong to the government. It doesn't belong to the church. It doesn't belong to everyone. Right. A man is the one that gets their own thing. Unfortunately, it's because it's Randian philosophy. It just doesn't work in practice.
Yeah,
everyone goes mental. Turns out that the rewriting your genetic makeup to give you superpowers kind of makes you a bit crazy. So what happens is everything goes to hell. There's a civil war in Rapture, again at the bottom of the ocean, and the place basically becomes deserted aside from a few survivors and what are now termed as the splicers. Yeah, because they're genetically spliced up. The only sort of outside faction of this are the Little Sisters and the Big Daddies. The Little Sisters were children, all little girls who can basically generate more Adam. They have one of the sea slugs implanted in their stomachs, and they go around harvesting Adam from corpses, which they will later vomit up more of than they actually drink.
Right.
But because, this is something the splicers would want to get a hold of, they have to have a protector. This is where the Big Daddies come in. Big Daddies are giant armored super beings, usually equipped with either a drill or what is termed as a rivet gun, that defend the Little Sisters. In Bioshock 1, you're just a guy who encounters the city. In Bioshock Infinite, you're not actually in Rapture, so you never really encounter them. In Bioshock 2, you play as a Big Daddy.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Your little sister has been kidnapped. You were mind controlled to shoot yourself in the head. 10 years later, you will suddenly wake back up in the city. No one's quite sure why.
Is it?
You've got to find your little sister.
Is it also like not a puzzle solving, but a detective game as well as
a little bit, because a lot of it is finding out a lot more about the Rapture world. So the original sort of villain of it, as it were, was Andrew Ryan, who was the guy behind the a man's entitled to the sweat on his brow philosophy.
Yeah.
He has a big speech on this, which is why I keep bringing it up. And he terms anyone that's not an immediate producer a parasite.
Nice.
So the villain in this one, as a counterpoint to this, is very much a collectivist. The Rapture family, led by Sophia Lamb, the mother of your little sister.
Right.
So she wanted her daughter back 10 years ago, and she got you killed. And she is now in charge of Rapture because she's the only one that can control the splicers, as it were.
Yeah.
By bringing this weird sort of theory about everyone working together, everyone will achieve utopia.
Right.
This is very much incidental to Subject Delta, your player character, as opposed to how important all the philosophy was to Jack of the original.
Right.
So it's a very good game.
Yeah, what is it, like 15 years old now? Something like that?
Yeah, 10? Nearly that. It's I think it was 2011.
2011, so 12 years old. How about that? Okay, that's interesting because I've actually had a bit of a brainstorm and I've dug all my old consoles out, so I'm like going through my old games. I'm not going to talk about some of the stuff I've been doing because I was about to, but you know what? I'm going to hold it off for the next comfy chair. But I'll tell you off mic some of the stuff I've been doing. But we can talk about that. However, my next thing is a game.
Okay.
Are you finished with the Bioshock?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. So this game was on Steam. It was on sale, and I had a note to put on my wish list because I can't remember where it may have been you mentioned it. So someone mentioned, or I've caught a review where it was talked about. It might have been. I listened to Yahtzee, I watched Yahtzee on
Zero
YouTube.
Yeah,
on Zero Punctuation. He's a fantastic game reviewer, very funny, and it might have been he mentioned it. I cannot remember, but it was in the Steam sale. It's usually £20. It was £6, so I thought I'd have a punt. This game is called Oxygen Not Included. Does that ring any bells?
This, yeah. I've not got it. I've heard about it.
Yeah, essentially, it's the premise is you have a little team of what they call duplicants. They're like synthetic people that you're kind of trying to help keep alive. Yeah, it's God mode kind of game. You're essentially inside this big asteroid and you have to dig your way through it and try and work out how to construct rooms so they're happy, productive. You're figuring a way out to escape, I think. I haven't quite got that far into it. You're trying to clear up mess as you go. You're trying to find water, but not let it have so much it floods the entire place. Things like that. It's a bit like, it reminded me a bit, it's a bit Sims. It's a bit Sims, but more fun. It's a bit like, there's a game called Fallout Shelter, where you're looking after bunkers underground. It's a bit like that. But to give you an idea of how much fun this game is, and honestly, there's no tutorial. It's one of those games you just land and you got to try and figure it out. And so I thought, okay, well, I'll watch a tutorial video. And I found one that said, I'll tell you all 20 minutes. And I watched it. And this was just explaining the HUD.
Okay.
And there's a whole series. They're very good. They're very good. The lady that's doing them, let me credit her. Let me see if I can find it. I'm probably going to start the video by mistake. Hold on. So on YouTube, she's got this whole series. I think they're a few years old now.
What's her username?
It is Gaming Silver Nox. Gaming Silver NOX.
Okay.
Quite a lot of subscribers, but she does this whole series about Oxygen Not Included. How to start day, first hour. I've watched 3 of the videos. I think it's something like HUD is number 1. First 2 or 3 hours is number 2, and the first day is number 3. That's how much there's involved. Anyway, to give you a feel for how this is, I got in late-ish from doing something about 10, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try it for an hour. 2 o'clock in the morning, I realised how late it was. So I have vowed never to play a strategy game I don't know during the week. It's always going to be at the weekend because it was like, it's yourself. 2 in the morning. I've got work in the morning.
It's the teleport, the time traveling juice.
Yeah, it's something about strategy games make time go fast, which is ironic because in the game you can make time go fast. I really enjoyed that game. I'm probably going to give it quite a bit of a go this weekend, but I'll see how it goes. Another one I wanted to mention briefly, because I think you mentioned it last time, is Ultra Kill. I did buy it and had a very quick go. It seemed a bit too frantic to me, but I will try it again at some point. But Oxygen Not Included is a big recommend. I cannot believe it was only £6. It's such a good, fun game. It's one of these indie games that really works and is fun, you know?
Yeah.
You can do things like, that one's a specialist. At some point, you can give them little hats. So you think, that's the digger guy. That's the scientist guy, and so on. And it's kind of fun. Great game. Great little game. I would thoroughly recommend anyone who's got Steam, put it on your wish list and wait for it to go on sale next time.
Okay.
That's me.
Okay, so my last thing. It's a Netflix movie. Me and my friends were honestly we're hungover. We got some greasy food and we're like, okay, let's just chill out for a bit. What's on Netflix? Oh, I've heard this RRR is pretty good. Oh, this is a good movie.
It's on Netflix because I keep hearing how good this is, and I didn't know it was on Netflix.
It's such a good movie. Oh my god. Okay, so. It's a weird fictionalized the broad strokes here. It's a weird fictionalized version of 2 Indian revolutionaries who fought the British.
Yeah.
But the actual movie is more of these 2 super beings who can completely tank any damage and outperform any other being except each other. Fighting. It's really good. The action and choreography is insane.
Yeah, I've heard this is excellent. Is it Sri Lankan or something?
It is what's called Telugu. It's just a specific language in India. So.
It's Indian. It's an Indian film.
Yeah.
Okay. I've heard nothing but good. In fact, I work with some Indian guys, and they know I like films, and all of them have said you got to watch RRR, and they never talk about films. So it's wow, because I sometimes talk about Dabang, how much I like Dabang, and they know that one.
This blows Dabang out of the water.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Ray Stevenson's in it.
Yeah, Ray Stevenson is the British governor. He's the villain. The whole story is I'm gonna cover what is actually the first half hour, but is actually the 3 R's. Well, there's 2 different versions of the 3 R's. So The first R is story. It just puts the R in the middle. But the premise is that Ray Stevenson's character and his wife have basically kidnapped a child from this rural tribe, called the Gond tribe. They kidnap her because basically she sings, and they're like, hey, here's some money, and steal the girl as the village is trying to is very confused and being threatened. Ray Stevenson has this very cool speech about the value of a bullet. It's this is forged in England for the value of this much. It was then shipped over here for the value of this much. Is it worth it spending it on these savages? It's like, okay.
There we go.
This is film. Okay, so that's our story. The next part, fire. We get introduced to, what's his name? Caesarama, who's I guess, policeman, who's, standing in the middle of this chanting crowd who are, screaming, what do I say? It's like, they're screaming to, give someone back. It's not actually related to the girl, it's just incidental. Someone throws a rock. The British commander in the area says, arrest this man. None of the other policemen move. This Caesarama takes his hat off, puts it on a nearby barrel, takes his, stick, puts it under his arm, leaps over the barbed wire fence into the crowd and starts clubbing people. Wow. And then, slowly beats his way through the crowd. Part of this fight involves a tower falling over, and then he gets the guy back, brushes himself off, puts the hat back on, immediately stands back to attention. It's like, okay, the man's fueled by colonialism. And our third R is water, which is our other super being, Cobran Bean, who is introduced, starts off fighting a wolf. It escalates very quickly because a tiger gets involved, and he ends up with a chase, and then he outstrengths a tiger that's caught in a trap. He pulls various. It's sort of almost like an anti-Samson thing. He's got two cords that are wrapped around trees in a various way that's pulling the tiger back. Tiger's pulling against him to get to him. He has to pull the ropes together to wrestle it back into. And then we get our full title card, which is just RRR, which stands for, what was it? Riot, Roar, Revolt.
Right.
And that's the first half hour.
Wow. Okay, yeah, I need to see this. I clearly
get into the mental stuff like the Oscar-winning song and dance performance of Natsu Natsu, which is amazing because it's a very they basically both end up invited to the governor's ball. And all these British people are do you know tango? Do you know waltz? And then one of them sort of struts up. They do this fun sort of little posing thing together while one's leaning on the other's shoulder while he's looking indifferent.
Yeah.
They go, do you know Desi Natch? Desi Natch meaning rural dance, basically.
Yeah.
He's what's Desi Natch? Erupts into the song and then completely out dancing everyone involved.
Nice.
So
this sounds terrific. I didn't know it was on Netflix, so I'm definitely going to give this a watch.
High recommend.
I also see Alison Doodie's in it as well.
Yeah, I don't really know Alison Doody.
She's from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Was she the Nazi?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
She's mental. There's a bit where someone's getting whipped and she's like, use this instead. And out of nowhere pulls this whip that has huge metal spikes.
Oh my God, a scourge.
It's
scourge.
What? Why do you have that?
You
were coming out of driving your car. Why do you have that?
This does sound awesome. I kind of like films where there's characters who are basically super beings. They're kind of fun. I think the whole trend, I was wondering where this started in movies. I reckon it's the Dollars movies. It's particularly the good, the bad, and the ugly.
I've seen I actually watched an analysis of why this is a thing.
Yeah.
Basically, it's actually because of Japan. Almost
right,
it's partially, well, technically you could argue it goes back to ancient Greece, but in terms of movies, it actually is from because Japan was such an expansionist power.
Yeah,
and a lot of you'll notice a lot of Chinese martial arts movies, such as a lot of Bruce Lee movies, they're beating up the Japanese. The Japanese come somewhere, start a fight, and show off with their karate. And he beats them up with the local flavor of martial art.
Yeah, I was going to come to Bruce a martial arts film because I thought the first ones were and just a year or two later, martial arts movies exploded.
Yeah, that's when that really took off.
Yeah,
and then you start to get similar things with a lot of Bollywood movies and Bollywood and Tollywood. This is technically a Tollywood film.
Yeah,
so there is a difference.
Yeah,
I think it's just language, but there may be more to it. I'm
not. And there's also kind of a tradition of comedy kind of versions. Where one or two or whatever people are kind of invulnerable to what goes on about either through stupidity, if you look at Mr. Bean, but also in westerns there was Trinity and Bambino, right? They were just unbelievably you couldn't touch them, but they weren't doing it deliberately, it seems. It's just, that's how it was. But there's a lot of that. This sounds awesome, though. It's 3 hours, but I've heard it's totally worth it.
There was a bit where it's like, it must be coming towards the end. Which it's just like there's half the movie left. It's like narratively, what are they going to do now?
Yeah.
And it was mental.
Well, the fact you think it beat out it's better than The Bang makes it definitely worth seeing. Yeah. All right then, I think that winds it up, right?
Yeah, I think that's it.
I had a few other things, but I'm going to save them till next time because they're the sort of things that can wait anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
All right then, let's wind up there. So, bye from me.
Bye.
Thank you.